Coquitlam wins it 20-4 over Surrey. And in the Western Association, the senior game was in Richmond. The Outlaws hosted the Vancouver Burrards, playing only their second game of the year. Vancouver pumped in the first 3 goals, and then the fourth, in fact, as Peter Parks got his hat trick in the first 16 minutes of this game, beating Brian Shelley in the Richmond goal 4-0. Richmond got 3 of those back to make it 4-3, but before the period ended, Tony Malcolm, number 13, walks around the defense and makes it 5-3 Vancouver at the end of one period. They were outshot 18-11 by Richmond. Richmond made it 5-4 and then tied the game on Steve Downey's goal. He scored on the breakaway to make it a 5-all tie, Outlaws and Vancouver. Vancouver in white. Richmond went ahead 6-5, and then that was the 7-5 goal as Brad Henry potted 2 tonight. That was one of them. Vancouver outshot the Burrards, outshot Richmond 19-18 in that second period. It was 8-7 Vancouver at the end of 2, and that Burrard goal made it 10-7 in favor of Vancouver. But Richmond came back with three straight of their own in a seesaw battle. They popped in numbers 8 and 9, and then it was Danny Lamond getting the tying goal, 10-10. That came with just over half the period left. Vancouver got what proved to be the winning goal from Earl Caron right here with about 5 minutes and change to go in the game. They made it 11-10 at that point and pumped in an insurance goal to make it 12-10 final. Richmond's record drops to 1-4. Vancouver undefeated at 2-0, tie on top with Victoria.
And one of the best goals of this game tonight was this one here. Watch it coming up as Burrard's Rod Jensen, a great individual effort, gets the ball right here and sends it high into the net. Doug Hayes, Bruce Turris, and Paul Jones each scored twice tonight. This is one of the 2 scored by Doug Hayes. Russ Hurd had a couple of goals for the Richmond Outlaws this evening, but not enough as the Burrards go on to win by a score of 11-7. On Saturday night, Victoria plays at Coquitlam. The Canadian.
Right after that, as Outlaws captain John Swan puts Richmond ahead by a score of 3-2. But then Payless hit for 2 straight, and Frank Wendt will score both the goals. Number 17, watch him go in all alone. Pretty good stick work. Bingo top shoulder. That tied the game at 3. And here, Victoria takes the lead by a score of 4-3. Sorry, we don't have the final in on that as yet. As soon as we get it, we'll pass that along to you.
Suzuki with a nice move makes it 5-4 Adanax, but only a minute later, Richmond will reply. Dan Lamond goes out front to Derek Mullaney. He ties it at 5. Now Coquitlam will go ahead on a power play as Paul Dobre takes charge at the top of the circle, swings left, bounces one in for a 6-5 lead. But the Outlaws take advantage of a 2-on-1 break late in the period. Stu Watson pulls the trigger on the pass from Jamie Stewart. It was 6-6 after 2. Then Richmond came out smoking in the first 2 minutes of the third. 3 goals in a row, including this one from Mike Gillis. 9-6 suddenly, and they went on to a 15-10 win.
By 1. Then with the score 6-all, and U.S. captain Eric Collison will one-time a shot high to the glove side. Suddenly the Bellies are up 7-6. They score another and get the eventual winner here from Jordy Dean, one of the WLA's premier players. That makes the score 9-6 Bellies. The Outlaws would go on the comeback trail as well, but theirs would fall short. Dale Robertson twinkles the twine here to make it 9-8, and that's the way she'd end up in Richmond. New West over the Outlaws by 1 goal.
We pick it up. It's a 1 after 1 period. Into the second period, a great goal by Bruce Davidson. Goes in all alone on a breakaway on Doug Zack, the newest Mr. Goalie, and makes it 2-1. It becomes 3-1, then 4-1 on a John Swan breakaway. The Richmond captain beating Zack to make it 4-1. And then Tom Huntley over to James Stewart, converting a great 3-on-1 play, 5-1. Richmond, they're on a roll. Troy Pelzer takes this pass and beats Zack at 6-1. But you don't let an ex-champion off the hook. They came back with Dave Durante making it 6-2. It was 6-4 Richmond at the end of 2 periods. Bellies came all the way back and won the ball game by a score of 9-8 tonight. Elsewhere,
that was the last goal Vancouver got as the Bellies got 3 quick ones. The first from Eric Collison, number 6, on a breakaway. The first of 3 in 3 minutes for New West. Then it was Jordy Dean, number 5. He moves in 1-on-1. All alone, beats Dwight Metke high at 7-5. And finally, Brian Baker, number 22, made it 8-5 after 2. New West added 2 more unanswered goals in the final period for a 10-5 win. The series is tied at 3 games each. The deciding game goes Saturday night at Queen's Park. We're out of
Westminster's Ben Hilches gets the ball, walks all alone on Dwight Metke, the Vancouver goalie. Gets his first of 2 on the night. It's 1-1 tie. Vancouver made it 2-1 when Brian Nakula walked through the defense and tied the game up again. It's a 2-2 tie. Vancouver's Todd Racine beats New Westminster goalie Sean Quinlan this time on his back He gets that one low to the far corner. It's 3-2 Vancouver at the end of one period. Into the period, we pick it up with New Westminster ahead 5-4. Bruce Turris and Jeff Keith, a great assist on Terry Oym's power play goal, and Vancouver's in a 5-5 tie. That, unfortunately, was to be the last goal Vancouver will get this night, and the winning goal came from Eric Callison. A 2-on-1 break. He fakes it and bounces the shot past Netke, with Jordy Dean and Brian Baker making it 8-5 Vancouver, New Westminster at the end of two periods. Todd Lorenz made it 9-5. The final count ended up being 10-5 in favor of New Westminster to square the series at 3 apiece. Game 7 Saturday in New Westminster. Victoria plays in Coquitlam tomorrow night.
We pick it up in the second period. Score 3-0 A's in the Dark Unis. They make it 4-0 here as Ray Hamilton pops one behind Ted Sawicki. All Coquitlam early in this game. Here, Rob Dalzell and Guy Prentice work a 2-on-1 with Dalzell twinkling the twine. 5-0 Coquitlam. The rout continues here as Mark Tura will beat Ted Sawicki high to the glove side as he accepts the pass at the crease. 6-0 Adanacs. Payless gets its first goal here as Doug Angro will be stopped on a breakaway, but Graham Groneveld will hockey in the rebound. 6-1 at this point, but the A's answer with a score 6-2. Guy Prentice beating Mac Maude, who replaced Sawicki. Adanacs go on to win 9-5. They tie the best-of-7 semifinal at 3. Game 7 tomorrow in Victoria.
2-1 New West. Ross Angelucci, long pass, beats Mac Maude and close. It's 3-1 Billies. And they made it 4-1 very quickly as Brian Baker uses the pick, fires it past Maude on the short side. He had 3 goals tonight. Victoria came right back, though, as Paul Michael hits a cutting Paul Pin, beats Sean Quinlan 4-2. The Bellies reeled off 3 straight to lead 7-2 after 1. It was 7-3 when New West allowed Kevin Alexander to rip one in from well out at 7-4, and then another former Victoria player, Jim Lightbody, worked the give and go to perfection here, restored the 4-goal lead. Quinlan, brilliant at times, fends off a near breakaway by Ted Greaves. New West coach. Watch him, he's number 88, right in the slot, springs free of his check, and fires one for the 7-2 Vancouver lead. Now the Outlaws got a goal as Russ Hurd lets it go. The save is made, but then the ball is lost by the defenseman. There's Hurd to put it away. 7-3 for Vancouver. He had a hat trick. Kind of a rough one tonight. Third period action. The breakout pass to one of the Outlaws. Terry Oym almost takes his head off. He got 5 minutes for that. Richmond connects a little later, and 10-5 Vancouver leads when they do score. The Outlaws make it 10-6 as Vancouver goalie Dwight Metke makes the big boo-boo. Easy one for Richmond. The final 11-6 for the Berards, though. Briefly in baseball.
Richmond Outlaws. First period, Berards in blue. They attack. Rod Jansen frees up a lane for Todd Racine. Racine gets the pass and rifles a shot that beats Doug Zach. 1-0 Vancouver. The Outlaws reply. Dan Langham, he moves around his check and fires one over the shoulder of Dwight Mackey. 1-all. Then Bruce Turris for the Berards. He'll get the ball inside to Tony Malcolm, and the Vancouver veteran shows his stuff. Beats 2 defenders before rippling the mesh on the old bouncer. 2-1 Berards. Still in the first. Berards again press. Strange goal. Racine the nice backhand pass. Rod Jansen stopped, but Keith Keller will make like Lemieux, Mario Lemieux on the rebound. 3-1. The Berards go on to win this game 8-5 over the Outlaws of Richmond. Let's recap now. Out of Queen's Park, the U.S. Salmon Bellies taking on the Richmond Outlaws. We had our camera out there to pick up some of the highlights. First period, 1-0 U.S., as we didn't have the best of camera positions out there. Anyway, Bellies, Andy Shaughnessy, the setup in front to the veteran, Todd Lorenz, the bing banger, and it's 2-0 Salmon Bellies. So were the Bellies going to run away with this one? Maybe not, with the score 3-0. Keith Callison works around to pick, beats Sean Quinlan with the bounce shot. 3-1, Outlaws trail. Later, Richmond power play, and the Outlaws work the ball beautifully. They get the ball down low to Stu Watson on the crease. He beats Quinlan high to the shoulder. Bob's your uncle. It was 3-2. Then Quinlan gets some revenge. You'll see Callison move right in. This is another power play for Richmond, but Quinlan with the enormous save and a nice little shove to boot. Quinlan and the Bellies would go on to whip the